Hi everybody, hi. It's Marlene with Dixie Quilters. Hey, tonight we're gonna just take a look at this Quilt As You Go by June Taylor. There we go. Now, as I'm looking at this pattern, I immediately had like 3 different focus fabrics that came to mind, including one that came in the Soft Squares box A 2025. Wow, it was that boho fabric, if you'll remember. But I decided to go with this gorgeous stuff. This is Essence of Pearl by Maria Kalinowski for Canvas Studios, Benartex. Isn't that just gorgeous as gorgeous can get? I know Liz will like that, Miss Purple. And that's going to be that large print at the top. And I think I'm even going to use it for the lining. Yeah. So I was going to just enjoy watching a TV church and do this for you. But, I haven't filmed anything lately. So I thought maybe I'll just film this for you right now. And you can watch me make it. I've done the first couple of steps. Let me turn the camera down so you can see. I got a new gizmo. Pretty exciting. It's a ring light with a camera holder, and it can come in closer. When I was using that tripod before, I couldn't get any closer to really show you stuff. But the first step on the Quilt As You Go project is to take the batting out of the container, trim off to within a 1/2 inch of all the exterior, which turned out to be this much stuff. And I think this is one of my straps. No, I put those all over there. So that's all extra stuff. Here's the straps. So then the next thing was to figure out which one you wanted to use for the lining. Where's my instructions? Here they are. Ta-da! Here's the instructions. Just 1.5 pages with some pictures, that's all. So I'm going to use that beautiful fabric for lining, and then I picked out a few little accessory colors to go with. A lavender, a pinky lavender, a lovely batik. It was left over from the Paradise. A lovely dusky purple. I think it'll really accent with those dark colored leaves in this. It's right that color. And then, I'm not sure, it came in a grab bag from Soft Squares. Just the perfect green though. Okay, so those are my colors. It says you're supposed to have 6 to 12 colors, but fiddle-dee-dee, we're gonna do it with those 5. I think we'll be just fine. Okay, so there's nothing here that's necessarily proprietary because you have to have this piece of paper, this piece of batting with the printing on it to make it work. So I'll show you, we're going to cut strips. And we're going to cut multiple strips, and then we're going to position them on these lines, sew them down. And that's where we're, well, we're not quite at that spot yet. The first thing we did is we decided that I was going to make the lining, this beautiful fabric. So I ironed it to within 1 inch of its life, and then I spray adhesived it onto the back of the batting piece, as per instructions. Attach wrong unprinted side of batting to the wrong side of the backing fabric using basting spray, glue, or pins. Smooth it out to the center, smooth from the center to the edges, like we're making something flat. And then we're going to sew around the edges. Turn batting right printed side up, sew through the batting and the backing on the outermost line, and that's where we're at right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I hope you're working on something this evening. I'll try to get this up. Probably won't be early enough for those of you on the East Coast to use it today, but you could use it tomorrow as to sew along with me. We'll try this new camera because it's in order to get it down low enough for you to see me, no, to see what I'm working on, then you can't see me. Maybe that's a good thing, huh? Here we go. I have yet to learn how to do picture-in-picture. Now see, that'd be fun. I must need to use a second camera. Maybe my laptop? I'll ask my daughter. She signed me up for a Facebook account under Dixie Quilters and a Gmail under Dixie Quilters. So you can reach me in multiple ways now. And I want to start being able to see what you guys are working on. That's pretty important to me. So we're just sewing around this exterior. My one daughter is wanting me to find this quilt that she got somewhere. I'm not sure where she got it. Was it Goodwill or something? And she washed it, but she didn't have much room in her home, and so she's been storing it over here for I don't know how long, years. And I don't know whether I gave it away or not, because it was pretty badly stained. But, oh, she wants me to find it so I can make her a quilt coat. I'm not in the mood to make a quilt coat right now, but I might get in the mood. That's a loud machine, isn't it? Sounds like a hay baler. Okay, one more side. Here we are. Well, that was fast. Did I do it all correctly? Yeah. Well, no, that's nice. Okay, so now when we sew that, Well, you know, we have the option. Here's 2, 4, 6, 8. So pieces 1 through 8 are right here. And pieces 9 through 12 are the little short guys on the sides. So I could make that in with this. Maybe I'll do that. So when you look at the bag from the ends, the pink would come together, I believe, on the ends. Oh, what's that folded for? See, it's not 22, so I can't use it as one of the long strips. Phooey. And yes, I could splice it, but I don't think I need to. Oh, I don't know. I almost feel like making one strip like this too. Yeah, I might do that. And the 9 through 12 are what size? 2.5. So those 2, and I believe we need 4 of those. 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. So we'll do 4, and those will be 9.5. Yes. And this is called, it's a Riley Blake 2023. That's all we have, Riley Blake 2023. I'm going to put these on the cross grain. Oh, let's make sure these are the correct ones. Let's see. And these are 2.5 by 9.5. Yes. Okay, so here's our, they don't alphabetize anything. These are our number 9 through 12. Right there. These are going to be our 1 through 8. And they're supposed to be 2.5 by 22. We'll use 2 of those. And I know I want those 2. Boy, this is going to be tight getting these guys in there. How much of the selvage is there? Okay, so we have 2 of those. And we'll do 2 of these dark ones. They're really, really nice. Now, just in case we want a 3rd one, is that one? Yeah, that'd be long enough. Let's wait and see on that. We'll put that in the potential pile. We'll use one of these for sure, but maybe not, definitely not both. Well, isn't that stinky? We're short. So there'll be one of those. Unless we cut some more. We could cut some more. Now, how about these? What do you think of that combination? I sort of like it. Or would you rather have more continuity? What do you think? What do you think of that? I'm thinking I like that best. And these little guys, oh, I meant to mention that I had ordered some stuff from Soft Squares and I thought they had shorted me 1 flat quarter. I was wrong. And Marlon, Mr. Fix-It, emailed me and said, Marlene, that fat quarter bundle was supposed to be 4 pieces, not 5. So that was why I got 4 beautiful pieces and not 5. It was a 4-piece piece. That's why. Heavens to Murgatroyd. I wouldn't think that Soft Squares would short me on Boipus, you know. So they didn't. They were correct. And they immediately offered to send me the panel, which would have been the 5th piece. But I don't necessarily want the panel. I just didn't remember what I bought, actually. Now, do we want to put the purple across here? I think that's too severe. It takes away from this guy. I'm thinking this one. Do we have a scrap of that over there? No. I'm thinking this one here. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I have yet to cut, what's the shape on those? 13, number 13 and number 15 is 1.5 by 20.5. Then we have to figure out what color do we want to make the straps. I'm thinking the dark color because, you know, straps get dirty. And then cover the webbing in this floral again. You see how the picture is? The strap is the fleece with fabric around it. And then you use a coordinating fabric and you put the webbing, this stuff, encase it in a different fabric, and then combine the two to make a doubly strong strap. That's pretty. Well, that's what I'm going to keep working on. And I'm going to put you on pause right now and come back to this as soon as I get it sewn up. And then, or do you want to see how we do it? We could do that. All right, I'll just let the camera run. But I'm going to label these. I'm going to label them with numbers. And I just happen to have my alphabet-y clampers with numbers, for goodness sakes. So this one is number, where's the numbers at on here? Oh, they're right in the middle here. Okay, so this is number 1. So purple is number 1. Number 2 is green. And I think this is number 3 over here. Yep, number 3 is the seafoam green. And then number 4 is also seafoam green. And then this one is number 5, the beautiful print. I wonder where I got that. That is so pretty. And then again, it's over here, number 6. This is number 7, yes. Number 8. And then I believe it was number 9 through 12 are the pink. Yes, 9 through 12 are pink. Okay. So I'm going to just pick them all up now that I have them labeled, so we know where we're going to put them. And I think we'll just pick them up because we only get to work with one at a time. And we'll just gently put them in my tray. This is my tray. And I don't know why I have a hole punch in there, but we do. I think we need 1 and 2, yeah. And then these are 16 and 14, and there's 13 and 15. So that's the one we're going to cut out of the seafoam. So put that to the side. That's all extra. So we're going to trim a 2 22-inch, 13 and 15, 1.5 inch by 20.5 inches. Now see, I already squared this up once. I can tell this is the side I cut, so. Okay, make sure we get that. One and a half. Well, there it is. This is my new cutter from Crazy Moose. I love it. And we need 2 of those. And then we'll decide about the straps in a minute. We'll work on the bag first. So these are 13 and 15, and that's 14 and 16, and okay. We're gonna sew it together. The directions say, take number 1. Number 1. Well, it says to starch them first. Maybe I ought to do that. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, it says to position number 1, right side up on marked number 1. Pin in place. And then position number 2, right sides together, now this is where I want to pin it. You need to have a strong pin to go through everything, and then to lift up and pin with. So these delicate blue ones are not really strong enough. There. Now that's our first line, is this right here. And we're not going to sew on the line, of course, because there's no seam allowance. But we're going to sew a scant 1/4. Okay, so let's do a scant 1/4. Is this better lighting and better, can you see any better with this setup? I hope. Okay, and I did spray baste the backing to the material here. So we're gonna do a scant 1/4. So let's make that go over to one more spot. Right in there. I think I'm gonna back stitch on all of this too. And I don't think that length needs to be a tiny bit more. to provide some tension on the front and the back so that it doesn't need, I should maybe use a quilting foot, but I'm not gonna take the time to do it. Okay, let's see what happens. It says that you run a risk if you try to iron it because it'll melt this. So if we pull that over to 2, take off any extra garbage that's on there, and use a seam roller, is what they're suggesting. Man, I like that. So let's see, what is number 3 next? Let's see what that is. I keep forgetting to see whether you can see what I'm looking at. I apologize. Well, we put it in line. It lined up beautifully. And this came right over where it belongs over here. And the seam roller worked real good. And now we're going to lay this one down and sew this one on. And I think as long as the edges come past that line, because that's where this little skinny blue one is going to go. Not blue, teal. Aqua. I like that word. It's always fun to say aqua. I'm not really pulling or, well, with either one. I'm not pulling or pushing with either hand. I'm just sort of making sure that the feed dogs are evenly grabbing. Okay, let's put this over here. And we'll show you what I did on that previous one. We opened it up and drove over it with this seam presser, seam roller. I think I'm going to lay all the colors out again and make sure I have the right numbers on them. Okay, so these are all number 9s. This would be number 4. Okay, well that's correct, I think. Number 5. Number 6. Oh, good. Yes, it is. And then 7 and 8 are this dark color. Okay. All right, I'm happy. All right, because what we're going to do is we're going to just lie that down there and make sure it comes past this line. Can you see that? Yes. And we're going to make sure it comes past that line and goes down there. It's more than enough down there, so I think we're going to come up here a little bit. And pin them down. I could see how this could go pretty well, you know. So we're going to sew it on now. Boy, this magnet pin cushion is sure nifty. Thank you, Sew Sampler. Beginning to drag a little, so I'm going to try to give some equal tension on front and back. All right, here we go. And let's, boy, I'm pretty straight on that. I'm pretty happy with those lines. And I think I'm very happy that I starched them to begin with. Boy, that's smooth. What's this? Okay. So number 5 is next, right here. There it is. The only thing I'd like to change about my sewing room is to get some hard floor in here so my chair would work better, but even with a chair pad, it's just still difficult because the carpet is so nice. Okay. That's a little bit over the line. That was a pretty scant one. So I think in order to doctor things correctly, I'm going to bring this back to here. And then 1/4 of an inch would put us right where it belongs, I think. Oh, no, see, that's too low. I think what I need to look for is to make sure that this lines up on where the line is underneath here. And then we'll sew 1/4 of an inch from there. I ran into this a little when I used that braid paper, when that project we did for Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler, because you got to get it exactly 1/4 of an inch, or it's going to incrementally get worse and worse as you go with each of the subsequent lines. So and even though this stripe might be a tiny bit narrower, at least we're going to stay in the lines sequentially. Which, you know, because if we keep going the way it is, it's going to be way off when we get to the edge. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to sew that scant 1/4 from the edge of the focus fabric, not the teal, which is over too far. Oh, I went past it. Oh, well. Okay, let's see how that turned out. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Well, it's a little bit over here, but it's a little bit over everywhere, but we'll fix that. Don't worry about that. So now we're going to get number 6. And again, we're going to line it up based on where the line is on this on the batting instead of the edge of the fabric. So where is that edge? Right about there. I thought I was driving along there pretty straight. Well, primarily the problem is the 1/4 inch. Am I accurate? Apparently not. Okay. I think this is going to be gorgeous. I think if you had your walking foot on, it would be better. Because I feel like I have to keep the tension on it to keep it going. You know, this is so neat. I'd consider making another one of these. Here we go. Boy, it's still overhanging. Wow. Well, I'm glad we're paying attention to it, is all I can say. Here's 8. We'll work on 7 right now. But actually, we could lay down 7 and 8 as far as that goes. Now let's see, which is the right side on this? That's darker on this side. Is this? Oh, good. Okay, so we'll use the darkest side. We're going to pin it down right where that line is supposed to be. Perfect. Yeah, foolish. Now that's really close there. Oh, those are those delicate ones. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, let's come back over here. After we get these next ones on, we do the pink ones. And then we do these little stripes and the big stripes. And we box it. Now I think they have us binding the inside. Well, I guess I can do that. I like these fabrics enough, I'm willing to do the handwork to bind it. So I'm not real good at binding with, you know, trying to get it on there straight and just sewing it once. I don't know how to do that. Okay, here we are. And that looks nice. Oh, we're over again about, well, that's close, close, over, over, right on the money, over, oh, brother. Okay, so here's those little guys. Let's see what it says. This is doable, really is. Okay. You can see what I'm doing is lining these guys up, and again, making sure that that edge is on that line, regardless of where the purple ended up at. So let's go ahead and put those last two on over here. And then we'll catch this when we box the seam for attaching it all together. That's right on the money. This one's pretty good. That one needs a little more pressing. You see that okay down there? I wonder if this fleece is a little bit shrunken because all of my pieces are just a little bit too big. And you know, we measured them pretty closely. So like this line here, I'm going to want to trim that down. Otherwise, if I put this light colored fabric, some of this dark stuff will show through. Anyway, here we are. Okay. And we use the little roller. Here it is. Now see, we can see that dark line through there. I think I'll trim that off. There, that's better. Nice contrast with these two colors. Hey, that looks good. Hey, I think I'll just go along here and trim this up a little. I better sit down and do this a little more carefully. There it is. Here we go. Now, if you were using a real dark fabric here, I don't think you'd have to worry about doing this. But I'm using that light fabric, and I think all of these different fabrics are just going to show through there. Hi, Hannah. Hi, baby girl. How are you? Oh, you have a hair. No, that's a string on your nose. Hold still. There you go. Hi, beautiful girl. Hannah, Hannah, banana. Banana, banana, banana. Hannah. Yeah. Good girl. Yep, that's just right on the money. I know you'd be up here on the table if you could. I just know it. Uh-oh, here's a big crusty over there. Let's get that off of there. Good girl. Yeah. Did you have a nice day today? I was out with the grandkids today, so Hannah was on her own with Grandpa, my husband. I think they both napped most of the time. Uh-huh. Can you see her? There she is. Hey, Hannah, Hannah, banana. Perfect. Oh, I'm happier with that. Very much happier. So when you're making yours, be sure to, well, I would suggest going to the line and then back stitching. And I'm out of power. Fiddle-dee-dee. Where did I leave that power strip? Don't snag my sweater, honey. We'll just have to, we'll take a break now. I'm on the low power, and we'll come back when I've got this put together a little further. Okay, thank you. Bye.